Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Welcome to Kitchen Table Issues with Cleo from Cleo the Seer, and our special guest today, which is Aley from Heart and Soul
Thank
Connected.
Thank
Hello,
you, ladies.
ladies.
I felt honored that you asked me to come. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. This is kind of our opportunity to just kind of sit and gab about some of the things that most people would sit around their kitchen table and talk about.
Sure.
And, opinions go back and forth and all that kind of stuff. But I did want to say happy summer solstice. And yeah, any whoa. Down you go. There we go. All right. Sound up. Press the wrong button. Yeah. So do you do anything in particular, Aley, for the solstice at all?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, I haven't this year, but in the past, it was 1987, and I remember going with my very best friend at the time and to a harmonic convergence celebration. And we trudged through the forest, and they were burning sage, and there were witches there. It was amazing. And it was very new, very, very new to the people that were involved in it. But yeah, I like doing that. And tomorrow I'm going to be on with Diana Bowles. We're going to talk about Lithia, which is the pagan celebration. Yeah. So
nice. Perfect. Excellent. And how about you, Cleo? Any special rituals?
No, I just wait and pray for this day to come. I love summer. I love spring too, but it's spring and summer. When it gets into fall and winter, I'm just like, oh God, it's over already. So yeah, I know. I'm just excited to be. I'm just excited that it's here. No, it's not really my thing to get into the solstice and all those different things. But that's not where I'm at. I let my sister do that. Which, by the way, Colleen's not here today, so that's why we have Aley.
Thank you. Yes, it is beautiful here in Seattle in the summertime, and we do look forward to it. It's like the reason we live here, I think. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This is an area that you really, when summer comes, you're just like in heaven, because it's just rare. It's rare to have really nice sunny days all the time.
Perfect. And anything, Aley, anything special that you've got coming up on your show that you want to highlight for the lovely folks that are here?
Yeah, sure. I usually don't work the weekends, but this weekend I have two shows. One is a members meeting tomorrow at noon, and then I'm going to be on with Irish Granny, and we're going to decimate the Supreme Court. 7:00 at night Pacific. And then on Sunday, I'm on my usual Sunday show, which Marina actually has been on before. And then I'm going to be on with Scott Scorpio Moon later on. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And Cleo, how about you?
Well, let's see. Actually, this week is probably the slowest week for me that I've had in a year.
Nice.
Normally we'd be doing polyterology tomorrow, but Colleen is taking a little YouTube vacation, so we're not doing polyterology. My next thing is the Mystic Four on Monday, and then Thursday is the Golden Girls.
There you go.
And also, I just put up a new video this morning.
Nice.
That I hope everybody gets a chance to go see.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And just
how about you, Marina? What you up to?
Well, I've got this Sunday I'm doing a 2-hour class. It's called Changing the Track. And it's all about, we subconsciously take on these soundtracks in the back of our head that may have served us at one point, but they don't serve us anymore. And it's kind of our default, that we go to. And this class is designed so that you can identify it, identify where it originated, you can release it, you can let it go and replace it with something a lot more
Rewrite
positive.
the script. That's wonderful. I love that. Yes. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yeah. So there's that. I've got July 1st is the 30-day Achieving Union course starts back up on July 1st. And just things on if anything that comes up, I usually put up on the community
You are
tab.
good about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are.
So you guys can go on there and check that out. And while we're doing plugs, please make sure that you go over to Aley's channel and to Cleo's channel. If you haven't already subscribed to them, please do so. It's free. It only takes a minute. And then hit the little bell so that you know whenever they're doing shows, and you can tune in and see if something is interesting, and get information that maybe you need to hear. You just don't know where to look for it.
Just don't know you needed to hear it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I thought we could start off. I can say hello to Mary Starshine, Bern O'Malley, Lorraine Billios, Lori Hunsinger, Tracy Rivers. Thank you. There's a whole bunch of you that are being very quiet, because I can see how many are all over the place, but there's only a few that have said hi. So if you're lurking, lurk away. It's okay. It's allowed. And Artist Liz, hello. Nice to see you in here. So I thought we could start off by, maybe having a little discussion about our friends down in Louisiana and the posting of the 10 Commandments in schools and universities. And let me bring up the actual wording of this thing. Oh my goodness. Come on. Yes, it is. It is the first state to require that the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom. The latest move from the GOP-dominated legislature, pushing a conservative agenda under the new governor. And it is a law that requires a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments in large, easily readable font. And the comment that was made by Landry, Jeff Landry, who is the governor of Louisiana, if you want to respect the rule of law, you've got to start from the original lawgiver, which was Moses.
There you go.
So, yeah, there you go. So,
yeah,
it is mind-boggling that the U.S. was never intended to be a Christian nation.
Yeah,
I think that they fought a war, and I think a lot of them came over from different European countries where there was religious persecution. And so they came here. Yeah. So what do we think about that? What do you think, Aley?
Well, I'm going to put her name. I wrote her name out in the chat because maybe it's Madeline, but I think it's Margaret Murray O'Hare. It's either that or Madeline Murray O'Hare. Mm-hmm. She came in 1961 or 2, and she was a Texan, and she had prayer taken out of all our schools, our public schools in America. And everybody hated her because she was an atheist, and they thought she was horrible because she did this. But I believe they had to have voted, that at least SCOTUS or the higher court must have had to vote to do that. So absolutely, Jamie Johnson's right. It's against the Quran, and she's against the Constitution, sorry. But publish the Quran, publish the Talmud, publish all these other rules of life.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Why not have some? Why does it have to be the the King James version, the Christian one, and yeah.
Well, I don't think that the 10 Commandments is a bad thing to have up, but it really makes no sense to suddenly put him and this is going to be like a law or something, right? That they have to.
It is a law. Yeah, it is a law.
And that's so crazy, because it's only a segment of people that would respond to the 10 Commandments. There's also Muslims and Jewish people, and I don't know who is connected with the 10 Commandments, but there's all kinds of religions and all kinds of beliefs. And we've always been told not to mix up church and state, but
yes,
this is it's just kind of weird. But then Louisiana, they've always been weird. I mean,
the southern states are very holy roly.
I don't know what the thought was to go ahead and do that, or why they thought this was an important thing to do. On the other hand, I mean, it's 10 Commandments is not a bad thing to know about, but to make it post it, that's ridiculous.
Right. It's just you're very right about that.
To it, making it a single thing, like this is the most important one, and it does diminish the other religions, who most of them do follow the 10 Commandments, or their version of the 10 Commandments. So you can't exclude others because they don't believe maybe the same thing that you do. And Bern O'Malley is absolutely right. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Where, he said he saw a meme earlier that said, funny how the folks pushing this don't follow them. Yeah, exactly. They don't. They don't. They are in the process of electing someone who is he's an adulterer. He's a blasphemer, a rapist, con artist. There's all kinds of other things that, and yet they're okay with it. They're okay with it.
Right.
So
it is surprising. I agree with you, Bern, that down in New Orleans, of course, there's lots of voodoo stuff, and so that really surprises me. Yeah, I mean, it's craziness down there. Yeah,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Lorraine. Felon 45 has broken each and every one of them. He's the embodiment of the 7 deadly sins. He really, truly is.
True.
Yeah. And yet, I wonder, do you get the feeling that this has something to do with that Project 2025?
Oh, yeah.
Funny you should ask that. That's what my video is about.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't see anything in connection with the 10 Commandments in Project 2025, but I do see the 7 deadly sins in the Project 2025. But
yes,
no, they're not going by anything with the 10 Commandments that I've seen so far.
Not yet, anyway. Yeah. Wow.
Yes. And this, I thought that because one of the things that they want to do with that Project 2025 is to kind of to have more power in determining what people can and can't say, what they do and don't believe. Instead of giving people more power, it's taking their power away. And this is one of the ways that, it's religious indoctrination.
Oh,
really is what it is. Yeah. And I don't know how you square religious indoctrination with the banning of books, because if someone reads a book that someone doesn't approve of, well, it's because they're grooming. Is this not grooming?
Oh, definitely.
I know.
Definitely is.
It's just I don't even know why they're does anybody know why they're doing this? What kind of argument they had that they needed to do that in Louisiana? No, there's no perfect. And so
Yeah.
it just
But
blanket
they are
that.
very evangelical. I look at Mike Johnson from Louisiana, and everything that he does is he thinks he's Moses, out of the bulrushes and up on the pulpit. So it's just a little bit of craziness.
Oh, isn't he in for a rude awakening?
I absolutely know. Yes. There was a documentary I watched the other day called Bad Faith, and it talks about Christian nationalism, which is not Christianity.
No.
And I'm almost thinking that this just goes along with that. It's like, let's shove this down your throat so far that you'll be past gagging. You'll get it right down into the into the stomach. And it shows preachers standing up and saying, you have to vote for Trump, or you have to vote, and it's all indoctrination. So I believe this is just part of it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And whatever happened to the separation of church and state?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Did you ever hear about what happened in Kansas? This was a number of years ago, and they wanted to have all the religions, in order for you to say you were a religion, they had to pass in paperwork. The Christians did, the Jews did, everybody else. And so they took them from anybody that had the paperwork, anybody. So they actually have the religion of the spaghetti. I think it's the spaghetti strainer or something like that, or the spaghetti monster. I can't remember.
Yes, I heard that.
But they have it as a religion because they said, we'll take any. And somebody decided that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And well, to some of the new folks that have just joined us. Hello, Linda, Coyote Rosenbaum. Thank you for being here. And for the new folks, thank you for being here. Yes, Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Mary Starshine brings up a good post. Yeah, thou shalt not have sex with teenage women, huh, Matt Gates? How are you going to explain that one?
Yeah.
The hypocrisy is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And they didn't they just have a preacher that was found guilty of sleeping with a young girl underage and had to step down? I mean, like a big cheese, like Osteen. It wasn't him, but like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was there was another one. And I don't know if it's the same one you're thinking about, Aley, but this was a preacher who he was pulled over and he had a sex worker in his car, and
sure he did.
As you do. Yeah. And he didn't want the police to be able to go through and search his car or do anything else with his car because, that's not right. Yet you pull someone over at the side of the road, and if they're not cooperating with you, if they're not giving you the information that you want as a police officer, you get to take them in. So, it's mind-boggling, and I really have a hard time understanding or coming to terms with the fact that how is it that so many people are blind to the reality that they just can't take the thought to its natural conclusion. No discernment, just
no.
None.
Yeah.
None. Yeah. What can you do? What can you do? So, the other thing that I thought that we could take a look at was apparently there was 2 federal judges in South Florida who initially urged District Judge Aley Cannon to forego overseeing the criminal prosecution of President Trump. And one of the judges, who was the district chief judge, Cecilia Altanaga, suggested that Cannon decline overseeing. And of course, that didn't happen. So some of the lawyers, excuse me, who have appeared in front of Aley Cannon have said that she tends to allow irrelevant legal questions to distract from core issues, and that she has zero tolerance for technical defects in filings, yet struggles with docket management that allows pretrial disputes to go on and on and on, while other judges would already have made decisions and moved things on.
Sure.
So what do we really, I know we've discussed this before, is somebody is behind Aley Cannon being where she is. Somebody is paying for her to be, coming up with some of the judgment or things that she has said.
Please. Yeah. Trump picked her. Trump put her in there. He purposely put her in there because she was going to be in Florida. He could manipulate her. And you can see that's exactly what has happened, right along with the Supreme Court justices. But Aley Cannon, she screwed up so much, where I see sometimes she comes across as, just comes with these goofy things that she thinks that she can do. And then Jack Smith comes down and says, really, that's improper and that's not the way it should be handled. And then she gets a little bit pissy. But when she sees that she's entering that line of, hey, you're going to piss off a whole lot of other justices and you're walking a thin line, then she backs up just a little bit. Yeah. Kind of lets things through for a while, like, oh, no, I'm going to help Jack. Well, no, you're not going to help Jack. I think he is doing whatever he can to get her taken out of there. But on the other hand, it's, he's kind of between a rock and a hard place. If he spends too much time in that, it wastes a lot of time. And still, everybody is trying to collectively get their court cases in before the election. And I don't see it happening. But, Aley Cannon has done her all. I really thought that she was I still think she is. She's going to try to dismiss this case, whether it's before or after the election. And, I'm pretty sure Jack Smith is doing his all to keep this together so she cannot get away with that. Because obviously he did
there was news
wrong.
Today. But there was news today about that, actually. Aley Cannon is having a hearing, and she's appointing someone to oversee Jack Smith. And she says she's looking to see if he was unlawfully appointed by Merrick Garland. And so she's just trying to hold up the process as much as she can. And this is a hearing, I believe, going to be in a week or so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the craziness, that she'll just throw something out like that, that would take more time. Let's see if Jack Smith, if there was something goofy going on there. There was not. This is just a ploy, to delay. That's been the whole thing with Aley Cannon.
Yeah, Merrick Garland could appoint a special prosecutor for whatever he wanted. That was within his purview. He could do that. That's part of his job.
That's right.
And for her to now try to muddy the waters.
They're trying to find him doing something crazy and wrong too. It's the whole delay tactic. I thought it was so funny that Fox News, which I never want to watch Fox News because it's always a lie, and it's always in Trump's favor. Well, they finally came out and said that Biden was a little bit ahead on something, and Trump just blew a gasket. Like,
Yes.
okay, now Fox News is against me, but you know, with Eileen Cannon, she is just a Trump puppet. And
Yes.
you know,
Oh, she
everybody
is.
knows she was way out of her league in the first place. She does not have the credentials to do this, to be in that position. And so
No.
if she gets to where, if she gets too close to trying to dismiss something, I'm pretty sure Jack Smith, I don't know, because she does have a lot of power because of the kind of judge she is, she does tend to put him in a precarious position, which is really tough to battle with her. But yeah, I've always seen her dismissing the case. I've always seen that the case never goes before a jury. And I'm talking about before the election. What happens after that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, if Biden gets it, all hell is going to break loose with all that stuff with Trump, because he's still going to try to claim presidential immunity, and he's got the Supreme Court. You know, it's just a kangaroo court. It's just terrible that the highest court in the land is delay, and they just came out now, and it sounds like they're still going to try to do that.
Oh, really?
They won't come up with immunity. And immunity, obviously, everybody knows that even if you don't know the law, that you cannot have blanket immunity like Trump is trying to go for. And they're even laughing about the things that his attorneys have done to try to claim immunity. So you know, and Aileen Cannon will go with that one too. Like, sorry, we can't do anything because, you know, he might be immune. No, he's not immune from stealing documents.
Yeah, no, that
right.
That's just, let's go back to one of those 10 commandments. I believe it says, "Thou shalt not steal," which I take to mean keep your paws off of things that don't belong to you. So, can we?
How about bearing false witness against your neighbor?
Yes.
Guess who lies all the time?
Yeah. You know, it,
and coveting.
I remember this.
Coveted. Yeah.
Yes. That too.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that there are several high position judges, and I would even, and of course, entertainment purposes only, I'm just a tarot reader, what do I know? I think that she is getting guidance from certain members of the Supreme Court in terms of what to do, what to say, how to do this, how to do that. You know, don't put anything down in writing, right? Nothing that can be challenged, but just doing these annoying, you know, I'm not touching you kinds of things, right? So I think that when
little
this
kid tactics.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that when you know what hits the fan, there's going to be a good number of them that are they're going to be leaving to spend time with their families. And I can literally hear one of them saying, you know what, I didn't sign up for this bullshit. I'm out of here. When
you mean the Supreme Court justices? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I know the ladies, Sotomayor and the other two, I know they said they go back to their offices and just cry.
Yes.
That's how bad it is. And actually, I was surprised Amy Coney Barrett has agreed with them. And a lot of, which surprised me. Yes. She
me
thinks,
too.
and she even argued. Yeah. She even argued and said, you know, Alito, you can't use regular here and you know, the Constitution here, but not here. Yeah. So, you know, that made me a little bit happy, I guess, considering. Yeah.
Well, Yes, absolutely. I think I was like you. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought, okay, well, at least maybe she is paying attention. Maybe she is, going to be one of the ones that they could be kind of surprised and shocked by when she says, nah, you know what, the girls and I are not going for this. Wouldn't that be lovely?
From your lips to God's ear to her head.
Please. Yes, please. Yeah.
Well, the justices on the Supreme Court that are clearly shouldn't be there, they are eventually going to have to answer for what they're doing. I mean, this thing with Alito and his wife and flying the flag upside down and being a total supporter of the insurrection and of the belief that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump, that is just horrible because we know, I mean, there's so much evidence that that's absolutely not the case. Everybody knows it, and a judge should certainly know it. Has he bothered to read any of the 60 cases that were taken to court that said, no, it was not stolen? But that gets back into the Project 2025 of what these people are going to.
You're right.
Yeah, they're going to stand up for the lie and base everything that they're doing on the lie, and then saying, well, like the insurrection. We did the insurrection because the vote was stolen, and so we had to correct it. Well, they're all living in an alternate reality of what is going on in this country. So, I mean, I've never seen or never even thought I would see such a complete mess. So many lies, you can't believe a single thing that comes out of the Republican Party, let alone the judges. I mean, when Alito even said, besides, first of all, he blames his wife. Then he says, well, I didn't even know what a flag upside down meant. Oh, please. You're a justice of the Supreme Court. You don't know what an upside down flag means. Or did you have a clue what it meant when they were carrying it that way at the insurrection? It's absolutely ridiculous that he's getting away with such he should recuse himself. He should step down.
It is frightening.
He should not have anything to do with Trump. The other guy that's taken all the money and gifts and all that, I haven't had a chance to keep up with that fool. But
Bannon? You mean Bannon?
Yeah.
That guy? Yeah. He's supposed to go to report to jail on July 1st, and he's saying he doesn't want to because he works for the Trump campaign. But they're saying yes, and he's not going to an easy place. He's going to like a middle.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not going to. Yeah.
No, I was talking about Clarence Thomas, but
you were talking about Chuck. I call him Chuck.
Chuck. And Steve Bannon is doing his very, very best to, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And I had said on Tuesday when I was on with David and Gary, and well, I called him Stevie Three Shirts because that's what I call him, Stevie Three Shirts. And he's part of the Trump campaign, and that millions of people listen to him and look to him for advice and whatnot. Well,
they do.
You don't do things that are legal. Number one. Number two, yes, he's not going to Club Fed. He's actually going to be, serving some time. The best part is, and I didn't clue into this until David pointed it out, that because he's got outstanding state charges, that's one of the reasons he can't go to Club Fed, because he's got these state charges, I guess, that are in, I think, New York. Oh, yes, it was for the money that they took for the build the wall.
For the wall. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he stole all that money. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and And David said, yeah, he's when he goes to court, and that's scheduled to go to court in September, he's going to have to be there. And where are they going to house him? They're going to put him in Reichert's, because that's where you go when you're
Well,
in
that's
court.
where Alan Weisselberg is. He's in Rikers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe they can have coffee together, you know?
Oh, that would be so kind.
Cheers.
Maybe Trumpy is going to go there too. That would, because there's a separate building beside it, supposedly, that they can even put the Secret Service access. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
I think that this is absolutely wonderful. I'm looking forward to to seeing, you know, Stevie in Rikers as he comes in his garb, whatever, the prison gear, and you know, they bring him in, and of course he's shackled, and then they unshackle him just before he goes into the courtroom and all that good stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a little bit of
wear a turtleneck under it, so you'll be able to see his neck. Everything. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And yes, in this case, he has to serve the full 4 months.
Full 4 months.
The full 4 months. Yeah. So yeah. Tammy Oliver says, "We'll even offer you a bar of soap, Stevie, 3 shirts." Yes.
Yes. Don't pick up the drop soap. Never.
Never. Never.
So he's going to be in there for 4 months, but does that start in July 1st?
July 1st.
Yes, supposedly.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
That guy is, you know, he is the leader of the lies. I mean, he just spews them out, and you know, his convictions of, yes, Donald Trump is definitely going to be the next president, and we're going to clear this all up. And you know, he wants an authoritarian government. So
of course he does. Yes, he wants to be part of it. Just like Stephen Miller, just like the rest of them. They want to be able to get in there and do what they want to do. And it really, with them, it really is a case of do as I say, not as I do. You know, the rules don't apply to me because I know what I'm doing. I don't know about your motivation in doing that. So you can't do this. You can't do that. So
I've been trying to figure out, what have the Republicans done in the last, going on 4 years?
Nothing.
Distractions. Except for, you know, tried to hit Biden and worried about Hunter Biden and worried about impeaching President Biden, just all these ridiculous things. And they've accomplished nothing for us. Nothing.
And not passing the wall in thing when it was clearly a good program that was by both parties. Yes.
The border deal. Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. It was everything that the Republicans wanted.
They wanted
until Donald said, I don't want him to have a win before the election.
Yeah, that's great.
And apparently, Miss Lindsey Graham went on Fox last night and was ranting about Biden being a felon.
What?
Because Biden is the felon. Look at what he's done to the border. Look at all the things he's doing down there.
Oh, yeah.
He is a felon.
He has been unable to make any moves around the border because of the Republicans. Finally, he did. You know, I guess he's trying to limit the amount of people that cross the border. Yeah. But he wants to approach the border.
He's letting the others stay. Yeah. He's decided to let the others.
He wants to be humanitarian about it. He doesn't want to separate families, and he wants to respect the fact that these are human beings coming across the border. Where Trump just says, "Hey, we're going to deport them all. Just kick them out. Just get them out of here."
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see how. Everything Trump had 4 years to play around with the border, and
what did he do?
Much. Yeah.
What did he do?
Well,
Nothing.
they say that, the Republicans say that Trump is, that he did a lot of stuff. Well, what he built?
A lot of BS is what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
so
he threw children in cages and separated them from his parents. And I don't know. I think there's still children in the United States that got moved around the country.
Not with their moms. Yeah, I agree
they
with
don't
you.
know where their parents are at. Their parents don't know where they are at. How in the hell did they do that? Why did they not have some record about where the kids were going? I mean,
absolutely.
That's horrible.
Because I think the whole idea was to traumatize people to the point that you don't want to take the chance on coming across the border because we'll take your kids and we're going to put your kids in a cage. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that, with a lot of immigrants, especially the ones that are fleeing persecution, that
it was worth the risk.
They're between a rock and a hard place. Do I take the chance and try to get into the US and maybe something happens there? Or do I stay here and I'm going to get shot and killed or trafficked by the gangs and my child isn't going to have a parent anyway? So where are my chances? It's like Sophie's Choice, right?
Absolutely. One? It is.
Yeah. I've thought about that too, that it's so bad for those people that they would actually risk what they have to put up with trying to cross the border into the United States. It's just horrible. So Biden is trying to do something, and he's trying to work with the Republicans. They won't work with him.
No.
And he's still working towards it because he does want to limit the amount of people coming through there.
Of course he does.
It's just too much. And but again, I mean, please, dear God, don't let Trump be president, because this kind of stuff will come up, and
it will. I don't know if you were able to see any interviews with Dr. Fauci this week.
Yes.
But he was on several channels, and his book has just come out, I believe, 2 days ago. And one of the interviews that he did, I think it was with Rachel, was unbelievable. Yes. I still blame Trump for 2.5 million that were killed from COVID.
Yes.
That's just what I believe.
Absolutely.
And this is for entertainment purposes only. But the things he put that man through and the things that man had to go through, because science isn't what the GOP believes in, and anybody that has any intelligence at all, they're too woke. Don't listen to them.
Yes,
you know. But the things, and he would call him up on the phone and scream at him, and you can't do that. And then he'd say, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Yeah,
the things that man went through are unreal. Yeah. Just unreal.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Dr. Fauci did. You could see it. You could see the tension. You could see it when he was trying to talk about things, and when Trump was saying things like, "Well, if we just have some disinfectant, maybe some bleach or something, and then we could take a black light and cram it up your ass, and maybe that would do something for COVID.
Maybe that would work. Maybe that would work." Yeah. Well, he wanted Fauci to say,
say no, that's not the way.
Yeah, he had to say no, and that pissed him off royally. He said, you need to tell them everything's going to be. Remember, he kept saying it's right around the corner. We're going to be all done in 10 minutes or whatever it is, and he wouldn't do it.
Because it wasn't true. And
exactly
the whole, but how Trump handled COVID, that alone should disqualify him from ever being in office again.
Yes.
Thank you. I agree 100%. I do. I did then and I do now.
It's just crazy.
And he hasn't been criticized for it enough. Really.
No, he hasn't.
Been.
No, he hasn't. I think maybe, maybe it's what I would like to see, and in a perfect world, if I could, I would have a lot of people who lost loved ones due to COVID and due to the misinformation, be able to sue Trump and the people in his government at the time.
I agree.
And
I agree.
Yeah, make them pay. You said, here you are. This is a picture of you.
Yeah.
Your lips are moving, and this is what the tape says underneath it. So you said this, and as a result of you saying that, my mom did this and this and this, and she's.
Or you told me to take hydroxychloroquine, or you told me to try this random BS thing with what is it? Some kind of medication for horses or something like that. Remember that one? And so many people passed on that could have maybe not passed on.
Exactly.
You know, later on.
Well, and that he never followed the pandemic rule book or whatever it was called. All because it was put out there by...
He got rid of it. Yeah, he got rid of that committee.
And the doctors that were involved in that, he got rid of that entirely. And so then when it came around, he was like, he did nothing. And yes, you're right. I mean, you say 2.5 million. I could say 1.5 million. I've heard recently they're trying to say 1.2.
Whatever it is. Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
It's a lot of people.
It's like too many. It's too many.
Way too many that, that he should be held responsible for. But Marina, what you were talking about, where they could try to sue him, that's where he will definitely claim presidential immunity. He wouldn't, and that probably let him go with that. But yes, what he did with COVID is criminal, and it's just amazing to me that people aren't talking about it more. To be reminded, do you remember what that first year felt like? When you knew that Trump was not handling this right, and that it was scary enough that we were possibly going to get infected with something that was going to kill us, and this idiot, the leader of our country, didn't know how to deal. I mean, it was just horrible. It made things like it wasn't bad enough. That just added to it.
Right. Let's make it worse. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah. And I'm always reminded that as COVID hit, just before COVID hit, was when Ivanka Trump was able to secure several patents from China, which apparently were very, very difficult. I mean, for someone else, are difficult to secure the patents. But her father becomes president, and all of a sudden she has these patents, one of which was for coffins, and the other one was for body bags.
Yes. That's right.
Coincidence?
Very queer. Very strange. Yeah.
I heard about the coffins, and I just thought, what is this? She's investing in coffins right when we're having a pandemic. I didn't know it had to do with
the pandemic.
Before the pandemic.
No, it was before the pandemic. Just before, like a month or two before.
Yeah. Just absolutely getting things organized so that, I mean, who wouldn't want to be buried in a Trump coffin? It's got Trump emblazoned on it, and
some people will. You know it.
Oh, I'm sure.
With they'll have their shirt with his prison picture on it, and they'll have the gold sneakers on.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Never surrender. And what is it? It's a picture of him after he surrendered. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. But at the same time, I got to tell you, as much as there are days when this it really gets under my skin, but I'm also very excited at what's going to happen after this. Because no, Trump is not going to get in. There's a lot of people who are slowly waking up, and there's a big difference between what I say out loud, what I say to my friends and my coworkers and whatnot, versus what I do when I actually get in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Very true.
I can see if you live in a community that is a Trump community, given how volatile they can be, yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to put a, you know, vote Biden on my
Oh,
front lawn.
I can't do it here even.
No,
Yeah. My
no.
neighbors were
But
all, yeah,
yes,
Republican. Yeah.
yeah. But I think more and more of them are coming around and they're saying, well, you know, just hold on a minute. You know, that dog don't hunt. You know, so
You know, I totally agree, Marina, and I think, you know, that a lot of people, a lot of Republicans that saw the, you know, the trial and saw the kind of evidence that was coming up and realized, regardless of whether he was found guilty or not, they realized that they were lied to from the very beginning.
yeah,
And now they're kind of in the process of trying to accept this.
yes,
And they're
Yeah.
looking at it a little bit closer. I mean, some of the mega people aren't, because they're just gonna
they're too far gone. Yeah,
but the other ones, they're not only just looking at it, they're angry. They're very pissed off that they have been drugged into something that they haven't, you know, they're not interested in an authoritarian government.
no,
They want the democracy. And so
no,
yeah, these people are well, I'll just say on a psychic level that somebody, and probably more than one, is interested in oh god, I don't want to make threats, might be interested in doing harm to somebody because of
Uh-huh.
what,
Yeah.
what they
Well,
have.
we already see that on the other side. Yeah, we see that on the
yes,
on both. You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I get it.
it,
Yeah,
it's
I
getting
get it.
dangerous.
It is
I don't
getting
blame.
dangerous.
Well,
yeah,
because they put their whole heart and soul in it. They do
Yeah.
love this country, and they thought that what Trump was doing was the right thing. And then they see that, well, first of all, it's a surprise. How could he be such a good person if he'd had these 34 convictions against him,
yes,
felonies? And they're looking at that like, well,
I
that
still
doesn't
see people saying that
appear.
they're going to be dropped. Somebody I saw said, "Oh, they're going to be dropped." I'm like, "What
No,
universe are
no,
you
no,
living
they're
in?"
not going to be dropped.
Yeah,
You know,
I
they
know.
are going
I
to
know.
be appealed. They'll never make it past it, because trust me, that jury, they were very, very careful. Plus, they had a couple lawyers on there that could advise
yes,
them on this, and they had to go by the records, by what was in black
Yes,
and
well,
white.
they had MAGA people. They had MAGA people on the
They
jury,
had
2 of
at
them.
least two, yeah,
Yeah.
at least two mega people.
Yes.
And so they had
Yes.
to go by
They
the
did.
record and go by the book and go by the law. And so, yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's not going to be any
Yeah.
turnaround on this. This is going to stick. So, but you know, the other, you know, they're listening to the lies, and now they're starting to say, hey, wait a minute, we've been
yeah,
bamboozled, bamboozled, you know.
yeah,
Well, it is a cult
exactly.
mentality, and very hard to get rid of a cult mentality. But there are some people that can, and they have walked away from any cult. So it is
Yeah.
possible. So I
Well,
agree with
and
you.
a
I
lot
think
of those
that
people that are walking away from his rallies they're just,
Oh my gosh.
at first they're just trying to be like, well, okay, you know, he was having an off day or something. But they're starting to
yeah,
see, I'm talking about a lot of people are starting to see that, you know, that
Mhm.
this
yeah,
something did go wrong, and
Yes,
they're not sure they want to be a part of it anymore. Plus, when they see how many people went to prison for their actions or what
yes,
I
they
know.
did at the insurrection. And so
Mhm. Yeah.
hopefully more and more people will come to their senses. But, you know, watch out for those
Mhm.
people that are, I mean, they're super angry because they put their heart and soul into this. And now they're
They did.
realizing that they've been jerked around.
Bamboozled.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Bamboozled.
definitely. Yep.
Absolutely. And it's, yeah, there is
Oh,
a good
interesting.
number of them that are yeah, they're not talking too much about it. They're just
Exactly.
yeah, waiting
They're
and
being kind of
you know,
quiet, being kind of quiet. The quiet
yeah,
Yeah.
minority. Yeah, they
yeah,
are.
yeah. And there has been so much that the Republicans have done to take away rights. I think women in the U.S. really need to show up in spades and vote blue up and down the ticket, from the dog catcher to the president, from the local paper boy to whatever. Is you got to vote blue. You got to vote blue. Make sure that the win is by such numbers that no one could ever say that it was fixed, even though right up front that someone will, right?
Oh, they will. There's still going to be that. Yeah. And if he doesn't win and the Supreme Court goes on his side with that, he's going to have another insurrection. He's going to have a civil war. He will, because he can command it.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about the election being rigged and he doesn't need any votes. And this is exactly what I talked about on my own video.
Yeah.
He has rigged it. And the reason he doesn't need any votes is because he knows where he's going to do mail-in voting fraud is what he's going to do.
Yep.
And so, you have to be careful with that too. As long as he can get that electoral college vote, he wins. So there's got to be a bunch of people watching very closely, particularly in those eastern states that are critical of this, for the electoral college vote.
Yes.
That they have got to watch what's going on there, because he is very confident, and he's got a lot of these idiot people working for him, these Republicans, this Project 2025, that they're going to cheat the system is what they're going to do. And there won't be anything legal about it, but once they do it, if they're successful, it could be terrible. On the other hand, I do see a lot of groups that are watching for this. They're well aware. I mean, they're thinking the same way I'm thinking, that every time he says something is rigged, he's talking about he's doing it.
Exactly.
Every time he talks about
everything he says.
What a disgraced Biden is, Trump's the disgrace.
Exactly.
Everything goes that way. So there are other people out there that are in a position to do something about this, but I do worry about that.
Do you think the debate is going to be a shit show? Do you guys think the debate is going to be nothing? He said Joe Biden's going to snort cocaine, and I think that's what he's going to do.
I don't think there's any 81-year-old person on the planet that will snort cocaine. It's a recipe for disaster.
It is. That's true. When you get a heart problem.
Definitely. Well, if you didn't have one before, you will have to do a snorting.
Get one then.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I would be all in favor if someone was to come up to them, 10 minutes, half an hour before the show and say, right, okay, drug test, here's your bottle. I'm going in with you. Go pee. Let's do a test. Trump would lose it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Trump wants. Yeah. Trump wants Biden to take a drug test to imply that he might be on drugs. I mean, he's not on drugs, but we don't know.
He's not. But if you want Biden to take one, absolutely. You take one too. You want Biden
to don't you remember the COVID test they were supposed to take? Remember, they were supposed to take him, and he had COVID during that when he was debating him. Somebody else provided a test that showed he didn't have it. But remember, he went in the hospital like the next day or two.
Yes.
Later, when Trump went in. So, yeah.
So as far
rigged,
as
rigged.
A lot of people are saying he won't even show up. I think he will show up because he doesn't dare now that he's stuck his big foot in his mouth. He'll probably show up, but I think he'll ignore the rules. He'll try to talk over things. He'll bring up things that don't matter. He'll try to irritate, because he did irritate Biden before on those debates. And I think Biden I think they're working with him. They're going to get him prepared to just stay even keel and let Trump go ahead, talk himself into a frenzy.
Corner.
Yeah, talk himself into a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
they have both the teams have agreed that the moderators will be muting the person who is not speaking. So if he wants to interrupt or whatnot, his mic will be muted. He can go on and he can, throw that, do the accordion dance and whatever else he wants to do.
Well, I think he'll knock over him. He'll just, he doesn't care about the mic. He cares about ruffling feathers here and getting.
He gets the last word, though. I don't like that. He got he's going to get the last word.
But you know what? Actually, Aley, if that could absolutely work against him, because do you think that at the last minute he is going to deliver something cogent, that he's going to say something and people are going to go, hey, wait a minute? No, he's going to go off on some tangent. He's going to talk about how how smart he is, how everything is rigged against him, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be the, poor me, look at me, I'm the victim yet again. He's not going, they don't have a platform. There is nothing for him to deliver.
There's no platform.
No, to say, okay, under a Republican government, this is what we'll be doing. I will be putting this into infrastructure. I will be doing this. I will be doing that.
He didn't have any idea.
No. Look at that crime family, Joe Biden crime family. And
somebody here said Linda G. and Mel and Arthur think Trump will likely walk off during the debate. That feels right. That totally feels right.
Does feel right. Yeah.
If anything comes up about his felonies and and those kind of things, and he gets flustered, he will just walk off. Oh, I hope that happens. God, I hope that happens.
Yes.
I think it would be funny if he did fart on the stage and Joe went, oh.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go have him come in with a gas mask on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. And I think that, once we're on the other side of all of this, we'll be able to connect more dots and see how all this had to play out, how we had to go through this, because there's so many crooked people in so many crooked positions that have been there for ages and ages and would never have sort of
into it. Right.
Yeah. But now they've been emboldened. So now they get to stand up and say, yeah, here. And, so he has, in his own way, he has shined a light on everything that was dirty, rotten, disgusting. And
including himself.
Yes. And you know what? I don't know anyone else who could have done the job the way or as well as he did in terms of doing that.
Right. I totally agree that, Trump is a lesson to us all. And,
yes.
I never thought I would see a time where a president wanted to overthrow the democracy. That's just amazing.
Well, it is. We didn't, I don't know about your family, but did your parents tell you who they voted for?
Who's that?
Yeah.
When
you were growing up, did your parents, when you were growing up, did your parents ever tell you we voted for Nixon or whatever? Did you hear any of that, or did they keep it quiet?
My whole family's totally Democrat. I've been that way my whole life, and my dad.
Well, my parents wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't talk about it. A lot of our parents wouldn't talk about it because it wasn't their business. Everybody's business. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Yes, Aley. It was. Yeah. Asking someone how they voted was the same as asking how much money do you make.
Right.
It just wasn't done. It just wasn't done. So, my goodness, listen, we are at 1 hour and 4 minutes, and what a lively discussion.
Yeah.
I know.
And so that I
That's great.
hope that you guys enjoyed it. Those who have been here in the chat with us, and thank you for spending part of your evening with us. I know I appreciate it, as do the ladies. So
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Thank
And Aley, thank you for coming in at the last minute.
Oh, of
And
course.
Cleo,
Yes. Thank
Sure.
you.
pleasure at
Yeah, it
all.
was fun.
As
A lot
always.
of fun. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Thank you.
You're more than
Mhm.
welcome. And you know what? We might be asking you again in August when Colleen is going to be at the fair.
Okay. I'm here for you. Just let me know.
Perfect.
Wow.
Okay.
Great.
All right,
Thank you.
everyone. Everyone take care, and we'll see you later. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
That's right.